Hello and welcome to the topic of types of words. We have basically four types of words. The first one is orthographic word, second is phonological word, third is lexical item or lexeme, and the fourth is grammatical word. We move on to the next. The first type of word is orthographic word. An orthographic word is something written with white spaces at both ends, but no white space in the middle. Point number 2. An orthographic word is of minimal linguistic interest. 3. It is being represented in written form by small letters. Look here, an orthographic word is something written with white spaces at both ends. At white spaces at both ends, it means that when we write a word, the left side of the word and the right side of the word there is a space, and that space is normally white because normally we write words on the paper. That is why white spaces at both ends. Like you can see, look here, there is a word "an," but before there is nothing written, and after there is nothing written. I mean to say that you have immediately after this word "an," you have a space here, you have a space here. Well, this is not white, this is a different color, but the meaning is like that. And no white space in the middle, and in between the word there is no space. This is known as orthographic word. Second point defines that an orthographic word is of minimal linguistic interest. Means this is a minimum organization of a linguistic unit, like word, word. This is something that cannot be further divided. That is why we call it minimal linguistic interest, and it is being represented in written form, and this orthographic word is normally represented in written form. Like all these words that you see on the screen, they belong to the category of orthographic word. Okay, we move on to the next. Examples of orthographic word. All these, whatever is written on this page could be examples of orthographic word. But further, we would like to give you some examples like read, write, play, eat, go, come, etc. If you write a sentence, it could be like this. She reads a book, he writes a letter, they play football. So we don't have any space in between the word, and they are written in small letters and they are written on paper. So these are the ways in which we can express the characteristics of orthographic word. We move on to the next. That is point number 2, phonological word. The first is orthographic word, and the second is phonological word. The word phonological, it belongs to phonology. That is to say, it is all about sound and system of language. So let's talk about it. It is something that is pronounced as a single unit. Orthographic word is of minimal linguistic unit, but this is pronounced as a single unit. Pronounced means spoken as a single unit. We represent it by writing it in phonetic transcription. And for example, the phonetic transcription of, like we have here, read, R-E-A-D, this is the example of orthographic word. But the phonological example of read in phonetic transcription is read. This ra, e, and da, these letters or these symbols we can call phonetic transcription. Likewise, we have, this is the orthographic word, but the sound of this word is lead. This is orthographic word read, but the sound of this word is read. So all these words, they belong to phonological word. They belong to the category of phonological word. And all these like read, lead, and read again, we have, they belong to orthographic word. So the first one is orthographic word, and the second one is phonological word. We move on to the next, Lexical item or lexeme. It is a dictionary word, an item which you would expect to find having its own entry in a dictionary. Normally, this kind of word, lexical item or lexeme, normally this kind of word you find in a dictionary. What happens when you search a word? When you search a word, you in a dictionary you find such words like book, play, go, come. So like these words separately written can be categorized into lexical item. Like for example, we have noun, we have pronoun, we have verb like play, we have book, we have man, we have men, like this. A lexical item or lexeme is viewed in relation to its meaning. So the word is expressed in terms of meaning in relation to things, actions, states, etc. in the world. So lexical item is always defined in relation to its meaning. We move on to the next. Lexical item or lexeme. Accordingly, some more information about the third point. Accordingly, lexemes fall into grammatical categories like noun, verb, adjective, adverb, etc. Each lexeme may be realized by a set of forms. A noun may have singular, plural, and possessive forms. For example, boy, singular, boys, plural, and boys, possessive forms. An adjective may have positive, comparative, and superlative forms, such as nice, nicer, nicest. A verb, present, past, and participle forms, and so on. So like such forms of verbs, they may belong to the lexical item. Lexical item is then a collection of words being defined in the form of its categories they belong to. That is what we call lexical item. We move on to the next, that is point number 4, grammatical word. Grammatical words are words that occur in grammatical context. The grammatical word represents the grammatical properties of the word, the properties which determine how it is to be used in a sentence. Look, lexical item, separate category of grammar of words. Separate category of words to be defined in terms of its grammatical element, like noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, and so on. You can say parts of a speech. But grammatical word, how lexical item, how lexical word, how lexeme is to be used in the context of sentence, in the context of grammar. That is called the grammatical word. We move on to the next. Look, examples of grammatical word. The forms eat, eats, ate, eaten, eating have certain different properties which determine their use in a sentence. Like we eat food, he eats an orange, they ate fruits, she has eaten cake, I am eating now. Look here, eat, eats, ate, has eaten, I am eating. Now they are the word is the one, the word is the same, but they are used in different ways depending upon the type of sentence you want to use. So these are the examples of grammatical word. So the first one is orthographic word, that is separately written a word in general. Then the second one is phonological word, the sound of the word. The third is lexical item or lexeme, a word being represented according to its grammatical element. And the fourth is grammatical word, the word which is to be used in the context of grammar. So these are the types of words, and this topic belongs to the subject of morphology. That's all. Hope you have enjoyed. Thank you.